Hello everyone and welcome back to Timberborn. This is episode 18 of the Spillage series, and we have quite a few things that we need to work on today. The first thing I want to tackle is getting some more platforms on top of the Badwater River, because as I discussed in the last episode, we're going to be separating this, basically a sewer system underneath, and that's where all the bad water is going to go. On top we want to have some of these platforms, and then we can place some impermeable floors on top of here as well. In fact, we can just go all the way across. I don't think they can actually reach a lot of this at the moment. If we go from the side and get some stairs, we can have the beavers from, this is still technically the second district. We could do a little bit of rearranging and then have the beavers from District 1 help out. So let's remove all these paths and then do the same over here, and then just add in a couple more. So now they can reach a good amount of this, but still in the middle is not within reach. So we'll need to have some overhangs, and then we can actually go over one more. So if we're at the edge of 5 and then get some stairs, they should be able to build everything below this. And then we just obviously need to connect in a path. So we can leave them to work on that. And then we have a few other things that I want to work on. This is one of them. We have almost all the dynamite placed down. Just need to detonate the rest of it. And then I think all this should be within reach. So it'll just be a matter of them getting over here to do it. And then we are gonna eventually have this water pool come over the top and waterfall on top of the platforms that we've been placing down. It's gonna make its way all the way up here, but it's gonna be a little while before we reach that stage. We do have some underground irrigation, and we worked on that a couple episodes ago. You can see that it goes over here, it irrigates the trees above pretty well, but not the dandelions over here. So we might want to expand that, because it seems like it's lasted pretty much to the end of this bad tide. So we can add in a few tunnels. Looks like they should be able to reach it, although I'll need to be careful. Actually, we might not want to go this direction. Let's pause that. I think I already see a beaver or a bot coming over here to work on this, so we can remove those. We can also remove all these platforms from the tunnels, which it's pretty cool that you can actually collect the resources back from that. Looks like the path goes over here, so we can extend it, and then we can go along the side on the back side of this pool. And we're basically just going to keep going just to get some extra irrigation. I think a 3x3 right here. That should be perfect. We'll need to add in some paths because they won't be able to reach it, but we can leave the beavers to work on that. And they place that dynamite so fast. So we can detonate all this. And we are beginning cycle 25. The cycles are just flying by at this point. One thing I was looking at before the episode started was that we're running a little bit low on gears, and we have a massive amount of bots who are unemployed. So we can switch all these gear workshops to be bots. And I have way fewer gear workshops than I realized. We only have 3 in this district. So we already have them tied to the resource counter for gears, which is right here. We have that threshold set to 95%. And we are gonna, but this one is not. This one is, so we can duplicate it. And then let's get a few more. I think we'll just start with 2. We'll see how our gear count goes. If we're not going up, or if we are continuing to go down, then obviously we need to add even more. But I think this should be good, especially switching it to bots. And we could maybe even duplicate this so we can get some planks close by for them. And then same thing with the warehouse for gears to shuttle any extra gears away. And then if you noticed earlier, some of these were paused because we were above that 95% threshold for planks. We're doing fantastic on planks in this district, so we can leave them. And then we still have 15 bots who are unemployed. We will find jobs for them. Another one that I was thinking about was the district crossing. We can bump that up to 10, get the bots all in there. We also only have a few beavers in here. I think we can leave that because we still have some unemployed beavers. So we'll go up to 8. And it looks like we have a lot of beavers and bots who are sitting around. They need something to work on. I don't know if they can actually reach this, but that might change. Okay, so I guess we didn't really need the 6x1. But we can add in some stairs down here. Give the beavers and bots of District 2 something to work on as well. In fact, we don't need this. Let's use this. We can go get the 3x1 bridge, and then we could actually do the 2x1 even. And it's just slightly cheaper in terms of resources, but we're doing pretty good on resources overall. This will get on top. We need to figure out how we want to connect the power shaft in to our main power system, because a couple episodes ago we did connect this massive aqueduct over to the second district's power system, and they're actually going to be able to finish this fairly quickly, it looks like. So we'll need to work back up in this direction. We can get some more water wheels placed down. So we'll just start with 4, and then obviously we need those levees in between. Help maximize the efficiency of the water wheels. And then we'll just keep going backwards. And then obviously we need to get those power shafts back as well. And we can just use the elevation tool, make it a little bit easier to see. Because I think there's a 2-tile drop between. So we need to go up. Yeah, so we'll go up 2. Ooh, but we're just actually going to go straight over because, yeah, we can't go up anymore. I guess we could have. We could have gone like that, but it doesn't really matter. We'll go over here, and then they won't be able to reach any of this. Let's see what we could do, because I think we need to go up 2 tiles. The double platform to place the metal platform on top. But we can do this instead. So we'll just have this going across, then they can reach all this, and then we'll just toss another single platform on top, and then on top of that we'll have the metal platform. But this then poses a new problem. Do we need to go up 2? Hold up. Am I tripping here? Let's remove this one. And then, yeah, we do need to go up 2. Okay. But yeah, if we go up 2, we'll need to build up the wall over here. So that means adding in some dirt blocks. And thankfully we're doing pretty darn good on dirt. We have 1,500 at the moment. And then I will need to change this, which I don't love. And I think we'll go out 1 more. But we'll hold off till they can actually get that second level constructed. And then we'll also start getting some levees placed here. Well, once they have constructed all the stuff in here, we can get the last few placed down. And then on top, same thing. A lot of this is going to be rinse and repeat. We'll just keep putting down some impermeable flooring. And we don't actually have a lot of water, I think, that's going to be coming through here. So I think 1 tile deep will be sufficient, since it's just the water that's coming through this guy. It's going to be flowing over. But it's probably going to be several episodes before we can get the water coming out of here. And they are actually working pretty quickly. And now they're sitting around. Have a few other things that we need to work on. We are getting really close. With the earth recultivator, we just have 2%. They have all the resources. but that has completely depleted our pine resin and our treated planks. But we have a bunch of pine resin over here. If we unmark all these pine trees, we can actually start collecting that pine resin. Oh wait, that's the wrong button. That's clear planting area. Whoopsies. We gotta unmark getting the trees cut down. And then we could probably expand this planting area. So I have been definitely taking advantage of the irrigation zones from the water dumps. And one of the things that one of you guys recommended, I mean this was back in the Haunted Hollow series, but the irrigation, I use typically a 3x3 grid. This one is not quite 3x3, but if you go underground, then you can actually have the water extend and it doesn't need to be at the surface, since the irrigation does go upwards a little bit. I think we'll go down here, and then we can place down a single piece of dynamite, and then we can go across with some of these, and then we just got to be careful on where that ends. But I think going over to here, 3x3, and then we could extend in this direction if we want to. We can go a little bit, so we'll go over here. This might be overkill, but we'll start with that. And then we gotta detonate this, and then we'll need to place some stairs down so they can actually reach all this. And then of course path it up. And speaking of path, I know we had another area we were doing the same thing for, and I bet they are waiting on me to get that path connected in. And then we can also remove all the platforms. They're very generous with that. And then they will collect everything. We still have 9 bots who need a job. Yet we have, oh wait, this is District 1. So we have 16 vacancies in this first district. What do we have missing? I guess if we click on this district, we can take a look. Look at the workplaces. Builder's hut, 0, 0, 0, so that's 12. That one's paused. A gatherer flag, and then looks like a lumberjack flag, probably some other miscellaneous. I don't think we need a whole lot of beavers, because we have quite a few extra jobs that are kind of just filler. Mainly the builder's huts over here, and then some of the hauling posts. I'm surprised I only have 2 hauling posts for the beavers. Oh, this probably has something to do with the resource counters. I don't remember what I set up for that exactly. Okay, this guy, how are we doing on explosives? We're probably maxed out. Pause him. And then we have another explosives factory over here. Let's just pause the second one because we're not really using them in the first district. We can switch some of these to be beavers, or sorry, to be bots. In fact, we can switch both of them. We'll make sure these are high priority jobs because I've run into a situation where we had bots who were producing biofuel, but then there wasn't enough biofuel because there were so many bots, and then these guys were starting to not produce biofuel because they couldn't work, and then it was just a downward spiral. So we had to switch beavers into there, and it was a catastrophe. So hopefully we don't have that happen. I think I want to completely change. Yeah, so I have this. These ones are paused. I don't want that to happen. I want these to just always be going. Same with these ones. So we can always be producing bots, and then we can fill some of these vacant jobs, both for the bots and beavers, which honestly kind of negates this whole population counter that I set up a while ago. But if this job, I think we should bump this one up. Yeah, we always need haulers. We sometimes need builders, but we can leave that. And then I know we had another tree farm I wanted to look at, which was this one. We can add in a few more maple trees. And then I just gotta change. I'm assuming they can plant everything over here, but we can unmark all these to be chopped down. Looks like we have a lot of trees. How are we doing on maple syrup? Looks like we have 250, which is fantastic. So catalyst, we have maple syrup and extract. We have a lot of extracts, so that is working just fine. I think they have all the resources over here. Yeah, so we have maple syrup, extract, and then this is catalyst. I feel like I don't use catalyst a whole lot, even though I should. But we have plenty of that, which is fantastic. Probably should start shuttling that around to different areas in the colonies, because this will give all the bots a big well-being boost. So if we have some spaces, I could start placing them around. We could do like a water station, water biofuel, and catalyst station. So let's try that. Just go 1, 2, 3. We'll make sure they're all prioritized and set to obtain. But we just need to choose the resource, so we'll go water. And then we can go biofuel and catalyst for that last one. And then since we have bot haulers, that should help out. And they finish this. Oh my gosh. Okay, so they have all the paper. Where's paper? We're still doing good on paper. And then extract is fantastic. Still, yeah, 1.2 thousand. So they filled that up. They are ready to launch. We could do that right now. Is there any reason why we wouldn't want to? I mean, they're going to get a huge well-being boost. So let's slow it down because there's a lot going on in this world, but we can launch this wonder. I love the animations that they added in. So this one, and also now that you can zoom out so much, I mean, you can just see everything floating away. And then, oh, okay. So some quick stats. 480 days passed, 1,200 beavers, no tails painted. And then, yeah, trees cut, 127,000. That's the one I feel like I like seeing the most, just how many trees we've gone through. We have a flexible start unlocked. I have not played through any game and actually used a flexible start. I've gotten through a good amount of the wonders now. They are going to start refilling that. And then I also got distracted. Let's go down here. Did I not add stairs in? Okay, I did. I just maybe needed to add a path in. That's connected. That's all connected. So they should be able to reach this. Why can't they? Oh, there isn't a path. Okay, that's why. We also need to add another tapper shack so we can actually reach this and some of the pine trees over here. We could probably also do with another forester since we're going to be adding in so much green space. So we can get both of those placed down. This guy, we got to move him over here. So we can go with that. We'll switch this to be a bot. And then I think we should just add in... Ooh, we could do... Well, chestnuts don't require a tapper shack, but a gatherer flag. We are not doing anything with chestnuts at the moment. At the very least, we want some more pine trees, because we are going to be doing a wonder in this first district. I think I'll do that in the next episode. And if you guys have seen the schedule for the week, I'm going to be uploading 2 episodes of the Spillage series. And as you know, these are a little bit different style of videos. So, kind of more similar to the live streams, a little bit less editing, but I can produce more of them. We'll get, I think in the next episode, yeah, we'll focus on the second wonder in this world. And I want to do something right around here. There's going to be a big remodel going on over here, but you have to stay tuned. That should be coming out on Sunday. And then the video that you're watching right now should have been released on Tuesday. And let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. It's, like I mentioned, it's a different style of video. I do like live streaming because I can interact with you guys. and then this style I can produce more videos. But I do like the finished product of the fully edited ones. I'm not going to abandon that. I think I'll probably just add this to the repertoire for the channel. And then back to the Badwater River. Now that it's a wet season, these are producing not a whole lot of power. Are they connected in? So they are not connected in with these down here for some reason, so I must have missed it. Looks like, aha, single power shaft. We'll get that placed down. Now that should connect everything. And I think the best way to connect all these in is just to keep going up, and then we'll be pretty darn close to these gravity batteries, at which point we can have a power shaft to kind of sneak up. And then maybe we need to maybe go over here or something. But since we are doing good on power, right now it's a wet season, so this Badwater seep is producing some power through our aqueduct. So we're at, woo, that dropped. Probably because I'm guessing the windmill stopped. No, they're still going. But 14,000 power, produced 8,000 is all we need. But we can keep adding in some additional water wheels, and then unfortunately I need to do something right here. So this is like kind of a critical zipline station, so I'm not loving that. Okay, we got rid of that one. Let's get rid of this one. Remove this guy, and then get everything arranged. I don't know if we need to remove that one. I'll go with this one though. And then now we can actually add all the dirt blocks over here. You know, just for aesthetic purposes, we can go with this. And then we can let them work on all this. I think we'll just keep going underneath, and then we'll put in those last few levees down the road. And then we will need to shift these over a little bit. Might as well start doing that. Not this one, but we'll just start like this. Oh, we'll need to add in some dynamite, which I think we should be able to reach from above. Go back to the water wheels, and then just keep going over. And then we'll put some dirt in, just going all the way up. Excellent. And then they place the dynamite down pretty fast. We have lots of extra workers, so that's good. And then I don't think that I can actually zigzag over. Ooh, the power shafts, that's not going to work. I think we might need to rethink this. So we'll probably just do water wheel over here, but then up one. And so obviously we won't be able to fit one right here, so maybe we actually add in a dirt block. So basically just undoing what I just did. And then we're just going to place down, well, first we're going to pause it. Try and get all this rubble somewhere that the beavers can actually reach it. And then remove pretty much all these. And then they should be able to collect this now. Oh, no storage space. We're doing too good on trees, I guess. And now we can add these in. And then we just need to add some more dirt blocks. I don't know. Oh wait, we're going all the way to the top with the sides. Oopsies. I guess we're just going straight underneath the bridge because we can't go directly next to it. I don't know exactly how we're gonna go from here, but we'll go with some platforms first. And we'll get the power shafts extended over. Because as long as the water is going through, or the bad water is going through here, it's okay if it goes side to side in between. And then we can have, yeah, so we'll go with these on top, get all those power shafts connected in. And then we'll need to extend the path, otherwise they won't be able to reach any of this. On the bright side, we don't have quite as many unemployed bots. We do have a lot of... I mean, we might just need to get rid of some of these buildings. We have 16 vacancies. Gosh, we might be overpopulated. We might need to get rid of that. Maybe we need some more haulers, because we have 2 hauling posts, and then we have 1 for the bots. I mean, what do we want to do? Part of it is that we do have some of these buildings automated. So right now we're maxed out on metal blocks. We could get some more storage, because 1,000 metal blocks is a lot, but it's not... I mean, it's not like a crazy amount. So where do we want to add some storage? We could add some underground piles over here. We could actually go down in elevation and then put these on top. So let's go to storage real quick. This will fit right here. So we'll place those down. And then we can just go down 1 tile. Let's actually do this and this. Might not exactly make sense, but you'll see very shortly. So we'll let the bots just immediately construct everything, and then we'll obviously need to wait for them to get out of the way. But now we can detonate, and then we did sever that path. Ooh, what is that from? Underground. Oh, we have the water seep. Oh, okay. So during bad tide, it's obviously producing bad water. Well, I guess we gotta add some dirt blocks in. They should be able to reach all of this as long as we give them a path down there. Sometimes it's kind of difficult to place down dirt blocks. Okay, so now we just need a couple stairs. And then what I was thinking is we get some 4x1 overhangs, and then we will be able to place down some of those storages. This one, obviously they won't be able to work on until they place all the dirt blocks, I believe. So we can just pause it. This one will be metal blocks. And then, how are we doing on resources in this district? Oh, we also gotta connect those paths back in. But in this district, we only have 1,000 plank storage, and thankfully it looks like gears are going up. We don't have, oh my gosh, we only have 1,000 wood storage also. I think we need a few more underground piles. So we can start with wood once they construct all this, which I think will probably take a little bit. I think they should be able to reach everything, but I'm not seeing... Okay, so that is too far. I assume they could go around, but I guess I can't place it underneath. So let's try and figure this out. I mean, we don't really need it, I guess, all the way over there. So we can just remove all these ones in the back. And now I think they should be able to place all this down. Yeah, so they're placing it down. Okay, so we'll leave that. We can get that storage placed back. And we'll have this one set to wood. But we need to add some more in clearly. But I don't love the look of this, so maybe over here, or maybe over here, we do something kind of similar, but not exactly the same. We could add a zipline station going... I mean, this one, we don't really need it to be right here. This is kind of an interim. So maybe we move that zipline station over here, and then we add in some underground storage. So if we... I mean, the paths are just kind of haphazardly set up. In fact, this doesn't even connect in. But let's get that storage... Sorry, let's get the zip line set. We'll have that one... I think right here should be good. But we gotta actually make sure this all connects in, because there is that little ridge. I think worst case scenario, we lower some of this. So we'll get one placed right here. Then we can extend that path over. And then from here, we can go down, and then we'll have a few different storages that we can access. So we'll go down one tile, and then I'm just going to use a double dynamite instead of tunnels at first. But then once we get down, then we can start using tunnels a lot more. And then I think the nice thing is that we only need to have a one deep tile in order to place down the what's it called? The underground pile. So we can get some of these, and then from here we'll get a path going, and so then we'll have the path in this direction, so we can fit 2. We could fit 3, but we would need to extend that over, so I guess we'll just do 2. And then over here we can fit 1, 2, and then 3. So that's 1, 2, 3. And then obviously this one. And they won't be able to see this all from above. We'll add this back in, and then this will just be open. Okay, we can let them start working on this. Look at that. So they filled that, or they built that immediately. And then we can disconnect this one. Everyone's going to be upset. They're all stranded. There you go. You guys are fine. What the heck? Okay, well, he's not fine. He is stranded. We can probably remove the dirt blocks over here. Don't really need those. But we'll get him out of the way first. Pump that up. And then, what the heck? Is he building through the dirt? I didn't think that was possible. So this will give us a good amount of extra underground pile storage, because we'll be able to fit 5. Yeah, that's going to be very helpful. So we'll probably add in another log storage, and then a plank storage, probably a metal block storage. And we do have a bad tide approaching. But I think that's where we're going to wrap up today's episode. You guys should be able to see in just a few days when the next episode is released. We're going to start working on getting some monuments set up for the beavers of District 1. I'm going to be doing something right around here. These gravity batteries are going to go, because we don't actually really need them, since we have a much better spot for them over here. We can add in a whole other row if power becomes an issue, but we have not run out of power so far. And these are a little bit of a eyesore. Also, we need to change this. Keep that water going. But that is all for today, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and be sure to check out Saturday live streams. And with that, I will see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching.